Britt Baker suspended, but then returns. So it's like no one even missed her.
Well, I heard her interview, and she was suspended and then reinstated, correct?
Yeah, within 2 weeks or a week? That was quick.
I think it's a week. I think he suspended her, and the next day he let her come back in.
That must have stung that. You're suspended for 6 days.
And it turns into 2 hours. We're gonna put you back in. So
okay, well you sent me this. You know the story then, so you tell us what happened with Britt and MJF to cause this suspension.
This is what I've just read like everybody else, because I think Tony has tried to shut the door on this and not to let it out. Apparently, when they went, when MJF and what's the guy's name? Osprey?
Yep.
Will Osprey. They went that 59 minutes and 30 seconds match, or with 10 seconds left, the bell rings. Well, they took up, the most of the hour. And I think she was pissed off that they took up too much of the TV time. And she went back to the dressing room and openly expressed her frustration over them getting so much more time than the girls. Well, unbeknownst could be known that one of the announcers is MJF's girlfriend. And she could not wait to get out of that dress room and to go tell him. Well, when she told him, then he came over in the girls' locker room, and I don't think guys are allowed in there or something.
He knocked and asked to go in.
He knocked, yes, he was very polite, knocked and asked could he come in. But when he came in there, I think he and the girl, what's her name we talking about? Britt Baker. They had words. He got pissed off. And he wanted to know if she had a problem, I guess. I don't know. And then he busted a wall, or what did he hit?
He punched a wall and a corridor down from the locker room.
And what good does that do? He punched it.
Have you known people to do this? Because in my life, I've known several people to do this, and I don't understand what the thing is.
Who's it hurt? Yeah. He's not punching anybody. He just bam.
Yeah.
But anyway, somebody ran to Tony, and Tony, being the take charge type guy he is, immediately turned it over to his disciplinary committee, which is headed by Brian Danielson and two people who are not even, I guess, employees of the company. Turned it over to them, and they took some statements from some people who were there, and it resulted in Britt Baker being suspended for 1 or 2 weeks. I've never heard anybody be suspended and said, "Oh, we're going to suspend you for a week." No, or maybe 2. Well, what is it? Is it a week or is it 2 weeks? Well, we'll let you know. according to how we meet this week, and we hash it out, and we'll let you know when the first suspension is up and whether we're going to go the second week with it. But I don't get it. So, see, Tony needs to he needs to, and I've said this 100 times, maybe not on this show, but if you're going to own a company, take it, run it, take charge of it.
Well, is he taking charge? I mean, he suspended her for a week or 2 weeks.
No, that was the committee doing it. And he just said, "Okay, I don't want to deal with it." And he didn't want to deal with it. I don't think Tony wants everybody. He wants everybody to like him, which they like him fine because he's supplying the money. But except he's not supplying us with money.
No.
That's why we dog him every time we get a chance. Yeah, now, if he'd come across with some money, hey, funny
we
how
look
that.
very favourably.
Oh my God, we'd love him to death.
Tony did a great job suspending Britt
Oh yeah,
Baker
it was great. And
for
but
1
it's
or 2
not Tony.
weeks.
But it's not Tony's fault
No.
if we got some money, because it's all these other people. They're messing it up, and he's trying to straighten it out. Nobody should have. But anyway,
Well, okay, in all seriousness, is this a good thing she's suspended for a week for shit disturbing in the locker room, or has it been blown out? Because do you remember a couple of years ago, like the spate of suspension, or a year or whatever it was ago, spate of suspension started happening. Sammy Guevara probably on his second suspension at that point because he was winding up Eddie Kingston, or who was it who called him fat on a promo? And then ended up with a fight.
Like that.
And then like Andrade was having some issue with somebody and blah, blah, blah. And everything was just left to fester. At least this is a little more proactive than it was last year or the year before.
Yeah. But see, I've said that their best stuff comes out of the dressing room. That's their best stuff. And they leave it up to the damn internet guys to stir it up. And everybody reads it, but then they go back on the show and they talk about something else. I think they need to get one of these. They need to read. They need to invent something that happened in the locker room, and this could be it. Happens in the locker room, and the internet gets it. The internet guys get it, and of course they blow it all out of proportion. But then they take it to TV and see what happens, because the work's already done. Okay, say take pro football or soccer. Let's say take. You know who the bookers are in that?
The fans?
The writers. Writers.
Football?
Yes. Oh yeah. Say they got a deal.
Oh, the sports writers. I thought you meant like
the sports writers.
I thought you meant script writers.
They are the ones who write it, and and they report it, and so you got this major story. So whether it's written or whether a guy's a sportscaster on TV, he's putting it out there. That's the angle. And so they go with that. And probably every big game, has a little bit. They got to win this. They got to win this, or they're out. They got to win it. So now they got to, and it's true in the statistics. But with the sports writer pushing it, it becomes very important. It becomes the overriding factor into whether to watch the game or not. But that's what I like about AEW, which they have the background stuff that they write in these what they call dirt sheets actually takes precedence over what they do in the ring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Britt Baker tweeted this on August 6th. You ever heard a rumor about yourself and actually wanted to hear more? Like, no way. What did I do next?
That was a great tweet. Yeah. Oh, I'm interested in this now. I did what? Oh, I can't wait to see what I'm going to do next. That was great. That was really good.
Very briefly, Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported a number of people were dismayed. The story even leaked, feeling it didn't help anyone that it did. Well, of course it doesn't. No story from the backstage ever seems to help AEW. It always seems to be bad. But it's great for us. Dave Meltzer then also reported that a number of people he spoke with in AEW were largely sympathetic to Britt Baker. One more thing, Baker commented, this was last year. I think it was in character, but you never know when.
I read that too, that all the people that he had talked to, which means more than one, that they're all sympathetic to Britt. What does that mean, really? MJF has that much heat?
I was interested in that. Maybe he does. I mean, maybe his on-screen character that he has no friends. I don't know.
I don't know either.
So in an interview with The Zone, this was like last year, this is when MJF and Adam Cole, who was Britt Baker's husband, were teaming together, and then it culminated in Wembley, says, I think one of Adam's fatal flaws is that he's too trusting, he's too optimistic, he sees the best in everything and everyone, and that's wonderful. I wish I was more like that, but you also have to be realistic and realise that there are giant pieces of shit out there that disguise themselves in a Burberry scarf.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so now the story gets a little deeper. Her and Adam Cole broke up, and I think MJF was instrumental in that.
Oh, you think that'd be a good story? You think?
No, well, it's there. They're talking about it. So she's blaming MJF for the breakup, of her and Mr. Cole. And she did call him an unsavory piece of shit. That's not good.